One Piece chapter 1135, it is titled Friends Cups. The cover page consists of Otama, who escaped Hold'em's grasp, and she hit him with a roundhouse kick to the face. Now, people in the community, they are a little bit upset about this because it took Luffy going into gear second and him using Red Hawk in order to defeat him. To push back on that, there's two things. Number one, Luffy, he always uses his gears in a lot of situation where he doesn't necessarily need to do it, and an example of that was provided later in this chapter. And then number two, well, it's Hold'em. Who the cares? Well, with that out of the way, let's get into the chapter breakdown. We find out that the master, who has been around for hundreds of years, this individual, they are capable of transforming and gigantifying the different books, and it is none other than an owl named Biblo. I wonder, with him being around for hundreds of years, if he has friends, or at least he knew some of the creatures that have been around for ages, like Zunisha, Emmett, or Nola. And if you guys don't know who that is the giant snake from Skypiea. If so, does Biblo know the Void Sentry, or at least a little bit about it? And could Chopper communicate with him to get this information? Obviously, Chopper wouldn't do that because of what Luffy said to Usopp about not wanting to be spoiled with their journey during Sabayoti. Apparently, the devil fruit that Biblo ate to be able to do this was the Grogro fruit, and it allows him to turn inorganic objects big, according to Lilith. We also found out that because Elbaph is not a part of the world government, that they don't receive different news coups unless fishermen bring the papers back, which explains why Haruden, what he stated about the Big Mom news a few chapters ago, that makes a lot more sense. In the last chapter, we saw the kids being little brats, acting all big and bad, but it really took a change because in this chapter, well, they're looking like a bunch of little puss. Now, I know because of what Ripley said regarding the shift of being warriors and all the violence and war that they had, and into more so peace, love, harmony, kumbaya, all that fun jazz. These kids, they're definitely a bunch of front runners because in this chapter, Luffy and Usopp, they're riding and swinging on different swings, and these kids, they're crying. They're kids. I get it. I'm not going to sit up here and fault them for crying, but at the same time, for this to be, and I know that they're not warriors, but for their parents to be warriors, you would think that they wouldn't cry this much. Which is why whenever Usopp and Luffy talk about how disappointed they are, it's understandable. They had such high expectations just for them not to be met. It's like whenever you heard an anime is going to be peak fiction and so many people hype it up, and then you end up watching it and you're like, this is kind of mid. I've been contemplating on what I think Usopp's role is going to be during this arc, and I think it would be pretty cool if Usopp is the one who inspires the young children to become warriors again by either doing something cool or showcasing that he's a brave warrior of the sea. I love the fact that after all of this, the kids, they ran endured, and seeing Sanji's reaction because they pulled a Momonosuke running to a soothing motorboat, which, I mean, can you blame him? But hey, I guess this is just universal brat behavior. Now, there's one brat that isn't spineless because Colon, he comes out of nowhere and he attacks Luffy, who eats the attack like it's a T-bone steak and even broke the wooden sword. So now 2 of the 3 of the monster trio have broken a sword. Now Zoro, well, we don't gotta talk about it. I talked about this earlier in reference to the cover page, how Luffy sometimes uses gears where he doesn't need to. Well, after Colon's strike, Luffy spun the block with a gear 3rd elephant gun. Yeah, a hockey-based attack on a little kid. Way to go, Luffy. I guess he just doesn't discriminate like Yusuke.
I don't care if she's a girl or a baby or somebody's grandmother. I'll still knock her out.
It's kind of crazy how anti-violence these kids are because they call Colon a misfit, and how they don't necessarily like him, they hate him because he's not like them. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. Ripley, she comes in and tells Colon how solid of a first strike it was, and we find out that she is Colon's mom, which means that Ripley, she's a MILF. She slowly but surely is becoming one of my favorite One Piece waifus. Definitely going to have to make a list soon. Something that is really shocking to me is that apparently Colon's father was a former pirate who is strong enough to hold his own against different Elbaph warriors, to where most people are assuming that Ripley's husband is Scopper Gabon. And not only that, the fact that he was a human means that they have an informal marriage because of the age gap. And another reason why you can say that the husband is Gabon, because he and Ripley, they would have a unique relationship in parallel, similar to what Shaki and Rayleigh have. On a side note, Sanji, his reactions during this chapter have been priceless, because hearing that, it's definitely gonna give him some ideas. So you better hide your mamas, hide everybody around, because well, you know Sanji's a freak. But the Straw Hats are finally ready to go and celebrate. However, Robin, Chopper, and Frankie are the Straw Hats that are going to remain, along with Bonnie and Lilith. Before everyone could leave, Jerd, she has a few new outfits for the rest of the crew. So Robin, Frankie, Brooke, and Jinbei all get their Elbaph outfits. And I have to say, I'm really rocking with a lot of people's Elbaph fits, even the OG crew members. If I had to list a few of my favorites, definitely Robin, Luffy, and Usopp are up there. Before the celebration, we cut to the intruders, who we believe are the Holy Knights, because they're here for Loki. I'm not sure if they're here to kill him or to set him free. At first, the giants that were guarding the castle, they were acting as if everything was normal, and then all of a sudden, one of them fell to their knees screaming in pain. Now, people are speculating because there was a panel where the woman, she ended up making a sudden movement, and that she used her bandages to cause pain to Bogey by tightening the bandages and cracking the bones. And my immediate thoughts is that she's able to use her bandages in a way that is similar to Aizawa from My Hero Academia, as well as we see the different bandages that are around Loki, so maybe they were the ones to imprison him 6 years ago. And also, the reason why the community believes that they're members of the Holy Knights is because of the summoning circle, and also we see a sword hilt that looks similar to the individual in the silhouette when Dragon was talking about the Holy Knights, and the mysterious person from when Oda revealed the big players who will be involved in trying to obtain the One Piece. But the chapter ends with us officially starting the celebration, as the Straw Hats are being recognized for number 1, finally making it to Elbaph after all this time, and 2, Luffy becoming an Emperor of the Sea by taking down 2 Yonkos in Big Mom and Kaido. We also run into Stanson, who was the giant that was supposed to be auctioned off during Sabaody, and he was next to Rayleigh as he was in prison, but he ended up being freed by Luffy. We know all the commotion that took place then. Jarul, who was the co-captain of the giant pirates, he ended up showing up with a sword in his helmet, and if you guys don't know who he is, his brother, whose name was Jorul, was killed by Big Mom during her flashback. But that's it for chapter 1135. Really freaking excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting them to drop this chapter officially on a Friday. I thought they were still gonna do it on a Sunday, but hey, the more One Piece the merrier. Unfortunately, that means that we're gonna be on break for about 2 weeks, but it is what it is. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen in the next chapter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.